This episode of Snack Size is brought to you by Snacks by Lala. Elevate your look with bold, long-lasting matte lipsticks and dazzling lip glosses. Whether you're on stage or on the go, Snacks by Lala delivers stunning color that lasts all day. Visit www.snacksbylala.com and treat yourself to a snack, because you deserve it.
Hey Snacks, it's Lala! Welcome to Snack Size. I am thrilled to be here sharing this wonderful space with you, and I'm ready to take you on an exciting journey towards finding your passion and following your dreams. So whether you're discovering new interests, setting bold goals, or just looking for a dash of inspiration, know that every moment is worth celebrating and every dream is within reach. So grab a snack and get comfortable, because we're about to dive into another fabulous episode where we celebrate the beauty of being unapologetically you. Our time together starts now. Hey Snacks, welcome back to Snack Size the podcast, and today's guest is an international award-winning burlesque performer, producer, and community builder who has spent more than a decade captivating audiences in the Twin Cities and around the world. Known as the chocolate drop that won't stop, our guest today blends sensuality, storytelling, cosplay, and theatrical performance into a style that is completely his own. He is also the creator of Juneteenth Jubilee, a Black burlesque show, a powerful annual celebration of Black artistry, liberation, and joy through burlesque, drag, dance, and theater that is now entering its 5th year here in the Twin Cities. This guest is also one of my good Judies. And what do good Judies do? They lunch. Yes, honey, we grabbed a snack and got into a wonderful conversation that I am so excited to share with you all. So you all are going to listen to our conversation loud, live, and in color. So without further ado, let's meet the amazing Tre Da Marc. Hi, Tre. Welcome to Snack Size.
Oh, it's so good to be here.
Yes, how long have you waited to do this?
Oh, God, what's it been, 2 years?
It's been 2 years, and I've never invited you on my podcast before.
No, I've listened to your podcast, but I have not been on the said podcast. Okay?
You listen to my podcast?
I listened to a podcast.
Okay, you listened to one episode. Oh, and I know which episode that was. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Well, we're here, and this is actually a really special episode of this show because we're at lunch.
Yes. We're having food.
We are having food, and in all the years that I have done Snack Size, I've not actually partaken in any type of snack. So here we are.
You're missing out on the branding, baby. You missing out.
Yes, I know. That was a missed thing. So yeah, we're actually having lunch right here in the Twin Cities, in which we are both established entertainers. But today is about you. It's about you. So for those who don't know Tre Da Marc, but who does not know Tre Da Marc, let's tell people about you and what you do.
Hi, my name is Tre Da Marc. I am an international award-winning male-identifying burlesque performer. I've been performing for over a decade, and I reside here in the Twin Cities.
Yes, and can you define international and use it in a sentence, please?
No, for those sitting across the table at me, they can describe international between crossing the street at Lake and Lindell as international.
Yes, international. Where have you been, though, for real?
Where have I been? I've been to Vienna, Austria, Paris, Amsterdam, Canada. I'll be going back there at the end of the month, actually, to do 2 shows, a live band show there and another long form 10-minute act show.
Yes, all through the art of burlesque. So you've described burlesque as an art form that has saved your life. What about burlesque has made you feel particularly seen?
About burlesque, it's been the way that I feel like I can have a voice without using my voice. I've never been a very strong person with words, or especially growing up as the only male in the household. I tend to feel like I didn't have a very vocal opinion about things. I was very timid and shy and quiet, and burlesque has been able to let me use my body to be able to speak for me in that way. So it's built a different type of confidence that I didn't think I would ever have if I never had discovered it.
That's amazing. Your presence is so bold and so confident and magnetic. So, like, was that always there? Like, did Trey bring about the confidence in for you in your everyday, or how does that work? How did that dynamic work?
Trey is definitely the persona that builds the confidence of me. Tony is a totally, completely different person. We're a nerd. We're a gamer. I like to consider myself very black cat energy. I like to keep very reserved to myself. But with Trey, there's the inner bad bitch energy that I just tap into to be able to feel like I can do whatever I put my mind to and not let the fears of the world surround me about it. Trey is just so confident and moving in that, being like, all right, it's do or die time and we're going to do it. We're going to survive this. We're going to make it through and we're going to continue to move forward in our lives.
For me as a drag artist, one of the biggest differences between drag and burlesque is that my goal is to put more on, you know, the bigger hair, the more fabulous dresses, the more feathers, and then you all are taking it off. And I find that to be so vulnerable. But the way you just talked about it, like, shows that it has so much confidence in doing that. What would you say to people who are wanting to work on their confidence and what burlesque can offer them?
Well, first and foremost, when I ever tell anybody about like wanting to get into burlesque or discover burlesque performing art, I'm like, don't do it because you want to become like rich and famous. You're not going to become that in this art form. For the very select few, it does happen for, yes, but do it for yourself. Do it because you want to love yourself or love your body or create art and share it in the world and still also get paid for it. But just don't have the realization that like, this is what's going to make me a somebody. I think you need to start feeling like you're somebody within yourself first.
Your performances are known for being theatrical, sexy, emotional, and surprising all at once. So when you build an act, what comes first? Is it music? Is it the costume? Is it the fantasy you're feeling?
Girl, I'm like Charlie Day with a big old whiteboard and a whole bunch of red lines and a messed up hair conspiracy theory is the way I work for my artistic endeavors. But what I do, I look at my construction of work through a Venn diagram of lenses, especially like I specialize in slow burn and nerdless.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know at home, slow burn is the drag equivalent to a park and bark. Okay?
Oh, is that? So
it is being very slinky and very smooth and very sensual.
I think there are plenty of drag queens who cannot park and bark and offer those things, but continue.
But so I like to move in that way. And then a nerdless way is being able to take a nerdless persona, whether that's an IP or something that's completely original of my own, and create and build a story. The way that I tend to do it is like I will sit down and be like, oh, this concept is cool. I have a concept circle. I'm like, what music would then work with that concept, where if it will be an exact match or a parody of those things and then overlap that circle. And then the third thing that I will have is the tone or choreography of that act will be the third circle that I would overlap into that. And that is basically for like, how's this character going to move? And what does that look like? What is the energy that I want to bring to that act? Hello, the food has arrived, y'all. Let me tell you, this lamb pizza that has arrived is just glistening. Okay,
it's looking so amazing,
divine. All right.
Oh, right. But finish. You were gonna say you were talking about the process.
I have these three circles that are in my mind that overlap, and I tend to use like a Google Doc to kind of help organize them and figure out like the direction and flow I want to go. So sometimes it's like, for my very famous example I like to use, I wanted to do a Sub-Zero act for Mortal Kombat. So I decided, okay, well, this character already has the main body of costuming work to build from, so that's a little easy for that circle. And I'm like, what would Sub-Zero as a character, like what song would he strip to? And at that time, for me, the way that I was working with it, I was like Foreigner, Cold as Ice, because he's very cold as ice. And then I worked in choreography. Well, I'm like, okay, obviously there has to be some kung fu moves in there, but it also like, I need to feel like I'm tormented, and there needs to be like some mode of me feeling like I'm going to be defeated, but then I win myself back.
So burlesque, a lot of people think it's just taking your clothes off and it's stripping. But just like you described just now, there's choreography and storytelling and vulnerability and, visuals and stuff like that. What do you wish more people understood about the craft?
I wish more people understand the ingenuity that goes behind what makes a burlesque performer a performer. I think there is the earnestness of that people just think it's very easy to do and that anybody could do it. And yes, anybody can do it, but burlesque is not for everybody. And that's like, we prize ourselves on body diversity, but this takes a lot of mental capacity for people to be able to be so vulnerable with other people on the stage to do it. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's fun. Yes, it's a glorious and wonderful thing to do, but we also give a part of ourselves in that process to share it to everybody, especially when burlesque can kind of consume your whole entire livelihood and lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is, I think that within that, like, burlesque performers are some of the kindest and also smartest people in the world. Again, a lot of people think that burlesque is just, you just go on stage and you take something off. I'm like, no, baby, they've been in a lab for days, even years, planning
on their act. Yeah.
Planning on the costuming, on how it's going to even reveal and take off, the beading work, the rhinestoning.
And even the mechanics, because I know you all like, something that's looked at is like how well and quickly and flawlessly things come off. Yes. And just even the mechanics behind like a quick release or something like that. It's
especially
amazing.
The unlearning and working through the like mishaps that can happen on stage. That's even a part of a process where you're like, all right, I got this zipper corset dress I'm going to wear stage, but what happens if I get caught in that zipper? How am I going to get out? Like, we think about that. Yeah. We are thinking several steps ahead because we want to give the best representation for ourselves.
Yes. I love that. So when I think about you, you entered burlesque in a time where there weren't many Black male identifying performers on the scene, and especially out here in Minnesota, baby. What did that feel like early on?
So when I started performing, I wouldn't say feel lonely in that aspect. I had to figure out like a time of defining who I was as a male identifying performer, if I was going to be masculine or if I was going to be feminine. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of discussion and talks that happened about that. Because the way that I look in myself, I am a person of duality. I enjoy the divine feminine energy as well as the divine masculine energy. And I kind of weave myself through those. I do tend to stay in the divine feminine land because it's nice and plush over there, okay? But I do like to be a butch boy every now and then, okay? And so it was one of those things of, my biggest struggle is figuring out, like, do I have to be one of those things? Do I have to be masculine or do I have to be feminine? And like, why do I not get a say in that? You know, like, because I'm like, yes, I want to do feminine things, but I don't always want to be that feminine woman. Like, it's the reason why I haven't gotten into drag is because for me, I'm just like, I don't want to.
You don't want to do no drag.
I don't want to.
You don't want to get up there.
I just like being a good old stripper. I love it. The other thing was, like, though, I think that really helped me through that was there was other male burlesque performers across the nation that I was able to look at and see. At the time when I started, especially for Black male identifying performers, there was Ray Gunn out of Chicago, Isaiah from Portland, Oregon, the Luminous Pariah from Seattle. And each one of those, like, if I put in categories, like, Ray Gunn was definitely a masculine butch queen performer. And then the Luminous Pariah was very elegant in that femme energy of drag, still presenting as male, but like had a ton of drag elements in their costuming. And then Isaiah was like the middle ground of the two. Like, Isaiah took elements from drag. And by the way, this human is a big, tall giant man. So him and his partner are like 6 foot tall sequoia trees. I'd be like, I need to get my hiking gear. You know, they're beautiful, wonderful people. Like, seeing somebody like him to be able to be like, well, I'm going to be butch today, or I'm going to femme it up and give it to the girls. I said, I can have it both ways. All right.
She can have her cake and
eat it too and shake it.
That part. So I want to transition because obviously you run the Juneteenth Jubilee. Some people do know it as Lala.
Lollapalooza.
Lollapalooza, yes. But tell the people what it is.
Right. The Juneteenth Jubilee is my love letter to Black burlesque. It is a weekender showcase of several shows throughout a weekend, whether if I'm co-producing or full producing or taking over a showcase through performers allyship to really highlight Black performance art in a lens that makes performers feel loved and cared for and also elevated and feel like they are making an equitable pay in this art form. I started this show again, like as a love letter, a way to get back to not only just my Black burlesque community, but because I lived in North Minneapolis at the Capri Theaters where I first did my show. And that was a way for me to get back to my actual community that I lived in. My Black neighborhood needed to see Black burlesque because Black burlesque it's not highlighted as well as a white burlesque. When you go to somebody and you ask them what burlesque performer you know, 9 times out of 10 they will say Dita Von Teese. Black people will be like, well, I don't know a burlesque performer, but if they do know one, as most of the time it's Dita Von Teese. And not a lot of Black community people know the history around like Foxy Tan, Pro Noir, Jeez Louise, Redbone. There's a ton of Black excellence that were out on the scene grinding and sacrificing so much to make their dream work that I feel like just as the landscape in the Black meniscus, they weren't recognized in that way. And so this was my way to try to get that community to see that burlesque is not just a white sport. It is a entertainment that values all ethnicities.
Yes. So a lot of your work is rooted in liberation and joy. And obviously, I think that that's what this show is about, having done it for 3 years. No, I haven't done it for 5.
You've done it for 3, but
I've been in it for 3 years, but it's gone on for 5. And congratulations on that, by the way. That's fabulous. Why do you think joy itself can be such a radical thing for people of color?
I feel like for me, joy is the light that pulls me out of the darkness. I focus on joy so much because I, like, just as a mental scape, I have a lot of like insecurities and desperate of more so of like, am I doing the right thing in this world? Am I uplifting the people? Am I doing good? And joy's been like my lighthouse, my guiding light to get me through that light, the darkness, to continue to moving forward in the light. And I feel like that's not for a lot of people, but for Black people specifically, of being like, it's hard to feel like it's okay to find joy or have that joy because it's constantly taken away from us at any interval of our life. The moment we get healed and be comfortable, something happens, something comes along, some white foolishness happens, and it instantly sucks that and takes that away. Like, joy is so easily grasped from our hands that we don't ever get to hold on to it for a long period of time as people of color. And I think like my own interpersonal onus of wanting to give that experience to everybody, to have them take it with them throughout their life, is the driving factor of why I do things.
Yes, we love joy, honey. Now that the Jubilee is in its 5th year, when you look at what it's become, what makes you most proud?
What makes me the most proud is the family aspect of it. And not in the like, we're all a garden, we're family here. It's more in the aspect of like, I get to have this experience and not have it be about me, but have it be about these other talented performers who are local and international, and to have them all come to a city and just have a really amazing, fun time. I said, there's enough chocolate cake here at this table, okay?
Right. I'm sorry that we had to interrupt the question because our dessert is here. The chocolate cake looks amazing, and yes. I don't even know what this other thing is.
Yeah,
it looks good. So yeah,
we're gonna hack into those. But again, it's just like it brings me so much happiness that like I get to bring people in to celebrate Black liberation and just get to take the back seat and watch that happen. I want the show to make money. Yes. I want my performers to feel amazing and superstars. Yes. But for me to be able to just take a back seat and just watch and be like, wow, I really made this happen. And the people enjoy it and everybody's having a good time. And they really actually feel good about it. It's not just like they go see the show and they're paying for this entertainment like a concert. They really leave going to be like, this is so amazing. I feel so happy. I want to see this again. I can't wait for it to come back next year. Like, this has changed my whole outlook and perspective on things. Is really what just I feel like gives the heart to the Jubilee. So to let people know what's going on, I literally saved so much of my own money from gigs and my tips and my show to fund this event. I try to get donors and sponsors to help like give money to fund to do it, but a majority of that comes out of my own pocket. Right. So the communities have helped build a strong standpoint for me to be able to do this, and I've been very supportive about bringing this show of Black excellence to the Minneapolis city. I just feel personally like I want this show to be known outside of this artistic community for what it truly is, and so that it can really get like the grant and funding that it needs to be able to support. Because I want this to outlive me. Like, my real goal is the longevity of this. When I'm long and buried in the ocean, as I want to be buried, I want this to continue to survive long, surpass me until whenever the world ends, realistically. Like, I want somebody else to be able to take over the mantle and continue to move this forward and celebrating, uplifting Black talent.
Yes.
Period.
Okay, so we're gonna have some fun.
Yes.
First time I've done this on this show because I'm trying new things and having
Speaking
fun.
of new things, can we just talk about how delicious this chocolate cake was real quick before we
It was good.
It was marvelous. And this pudding thing that we had.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we're just gonna do rapid fire, and you're just gonna say the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. One song that instantly puts you in performer mode.
Oh, that would be On the Way. It is OTW. It's a very like smooth jazz song. It's wonderful. I love it.
Okay. What's harder, choosing music or choosing costumes? I already know the answer.
Oh, not being red.
I would like everyone to know Trey takes a scenic route on picking his music.
Choosing music. Choosing music is hard because it's always like, what costume is going to make me feel like for that? Yes.
Oh, okay. Describe your performance in 3 words.
Electrifying, sensual, magnetic.
Biggest backstage emergency you've ever had?
Biggest backstage emergency I've ever had. Actually, okay, I know this is supposed to be fast, but let me actually think about this, because I don't feel like I've ever had backstage emergencies.
It's on stage. It's on stage. It's on stage.
Yes.
Out in front of everybody.
Yes, in front of God and everybody. Every now and then it's like the backstage thing would be like a button has popped and I just need to pop it back on and go on. Or like the wrong music has been played or something happens with the DJ. But that's, in my mind, doesn't really consider backstage because that's happening as the show is live, right? But the biggest on stage thing that's happened to me, it was Minneapolis Burlesque Festival at the Lab Theater. And I went on to do this act that I do to D'Angelo's Untitled, How Does It Feel? And it was the act that got me to the Burlesque Hall of Fame to compete for it. And in the burlesque industry, we have something that's called a merkin, what is just a no panties slide song that covers your front bits and it goes up like wishbone tone. So, and I literally, in this act, I have a giant 10-foot boa that's brown and gold that matches my skin tone. And my unders are like this brown mesh underwear. And so I perform, I do the thing, everything's going swimmingly well. And then like take off the underwear from the back and I pick up the boa back up again. And then my merkin, the tail on the back just flops down. And I was like, well, I'm trying to stick back up. And then it flops down again. And then the front part falls down. I was like, Well, now before God and everybody. But luckily, I'm a professional, so all my bits were still covered. I used my giant boa to cover everything. So I was like full nude on a theater stage, which is where it can be legal to be in because it's a theater. But I covered well, and honestly, the crowd loved it. They still talk about it to this day.
So I have a couple more questions to wrap us up. First of all, what is next for Tre?
Other than the Jubilee.
Post-Jubilee.
I have a couple of traveling gigs that are coming up and some rest because that's very important. The Jubilee is like a baby. I spend 6 to 9 months taking care of nurturing this baby and then pushing it out to the world. And then I said, I need to go and relax. But so planning some rest. I have a couple of travels up. I'll be competing at the Barcelona Burlesque Festival.
Ooh, it's a competition?
There's a competition piece. So
a competition component.
Yes. So I'm just excited to go to Barcelona and perform there. And then, and then just come back home and rest. So that's all that I got on my docket for the rest of the year.
I ask all my guests this question, and I'm interested to hear your answer.
Do we hate Lala?
Not do we hate Lala. First of all,
the answer will be
no one listening to this. No one listening to this podcast would now. But you know what I say? If you don't have haters, you're not doing enough. All right. In your own words, what is the secret to a happy and fulfilled life?
No, I think for me the answer is just being true to yourself is the way to have a happy life. Because if you're the person that's creating your own misery within your own self by not being true to yourself, then how can you ever truly be happy? Yes. Right? So you have to be okay with who you are, even if in the right now, you want to change and be better or be different somehow, but learning how to love yourself and be comfortable with yourself is the stepping stone on the path to being happy and fulfilled in your life.
Yes. All right. So if people want to support you and follow your work, where can they find you?
Listen, like you said, on the corner of Legoland. No,
okay. I'll be right there with you, honey. I'll be right there with you.
In this economy. Soon I will have a website. But for right now, you can catch me on Instagram under TreDamarc. You can also find my Infringement Productions, which is the production company I run Juneteenth Jubilee off of, on Instagram and Facebook. And you can support me by sending money to my Cash App, Venmo.
Not by sending money. What is your Cash App and Venmo?
It is my stage name, TreDamarc. All of that is for Cash App and Venmo. Oh, you want to support the Jubilee?
I feel like at Chocolate Drop Won't Stop is a missed opportunity.
It is a missed opportunity, but I wanted it to be one word and easy for people to get access to.
Okay. Thank you for stopping by Snackside and having lunch with me. Lunch is fun.
Lunch was fun. We had a great time.
I know. We're going to have to, well, I mean, we already do this more often, but I'm going to have to do more podcast recordings over lunch.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I feel like, especially if we do this again, and I said, we need to do a 3-course setup where we're first we're going to have the drinks, and we're going to describe the drinks, and then we'll do the questions, and then we'll have the food and describe, and then dessert.
Yes, absolutely. All right, Snacks. Thank you for hanging out. And remember, be safe, love one another. And always, go be fabulous. Bye.
Yes, bye.
Hey, Snacks. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Snack-Size the podcast. And since I know you don't want to miss out on the party, you can head on over to www.snacksizepodcast.com to catch up on all of the episodes. This episode was brought to you by a grant from the Minnesota State Arts Board. Until next time, go out into the world and remember that you are fabulous.